Hey, I have too much to do with my life right now. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here. Extremely busy and very tired and overwhelmed with a billion things happening at the same time. And today I'm going to be doing an album review, a very quick one, hopefully, at the new Smile album, Cutouts. So yeah, again, it's kind of fucking ironic because a month ago I literally announced that I'm going to be slowing down with the reviews, but for some reason early October is insanely stacked with new releases, all the way from Jordy Greep's new album to Godspeed You Black Emperor, and then on the exact same day, The Smile also released a new album. If you don't know this, The Smile is a newly formed rock trio between Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, and Tom Skinner. And this is actually their second album released this year, very early on in this year. The first album I reviewed this year actually is The Smile with Wall of Eyes, which I was pleasantly surprised with, but more on that later. This Smiles, Tom York, and Johnny Greenwood are two absolutely master class level musicians. They were and still are part of the band Radiohead, which is literally my favorite band in the world. Kid A is still my favorite album ever and is instrumental to my artistry. Tom York has inspired me more than any other filmmaker in the rest of the world. So you know where I'm getting at. Their music is important to me. Now, The Smile, however, is another offshoot side project between Tom York, the vocalist of Radiohead, Johnny Greenwood, guitarist, and Tom Skinner, the drummer of Sons of Kemet, I believe. And their first album, A Light for Attracting Attention, was surprisingly good. It was definitely not as solid as Radiohead's discography, but it's good that they can do some sort of side project and sort of mess around a little bit, not having the burden to carry such a huge name. If I was a member of Radiohead, I would also feel pressured to make sure that every single track under the Radiohead name to be a total masterpiece because of the legendary status that Radiohead has at this point. So it's good that they have some sort of side project that they can just mess around with and not care too much. And that's very much what's happening with their latest album, Wall of Eyes and Cutouts, is that they're just messing around. They're pumping out cool song after another without too much care. It's the same logic behind having a spam account on Instagram versus your real main account, which is the real one where you actually care about what you post. So, anyways, A Light for Attracting Attention, pretty good. Wall of Eyes, I thought was even better. It was definitely more rocky, very hard rock, very angular, very energetic, and at the same time, lots of trademark Radiohead styles with the changing chord progressions, interesting instrumentals. So, Wall of Eyes was a surprise for me. Now we have another album from them, Cutouts, where unfortunately, I feel like stylistically it's different from Wall of Eyes. I think a lot of Cutouts feel more like improvised music. A lot of it feels demo-ish and improvised. A lot of the tracks here don't have the same malformed changing chord progressions that Wall of Eyes has, and production-wise, the album also remains a little bit one note in that it is very reverby, it is very plain and meandering sometimes, with the occasional bursts of energy from here and there. Foreign Spies album opener is a slow intro with drony layered synths. There are some cool dripping bass embellishments. I love how stargazy and surreal it is. It is genuinely a pretty cool album opener. Pretty decent at best. Instant Psalm further hammers down the slow burn, meandering production. I like the nocturnal quality. We have the swelling strings, lullaby drums. It's just very sleepy. It's just a very sleepy track. Lyrically, Tom York laments over modern life and the lack of authenticity. Yes is not a real yes, not a real yes. Zero Sum is one of the most fun tracks the band has ever done. Very, very different from the rest of the album, by the way. It's speedy with the guitars and the drums. It's dry, quirky, witty. Tom York is doing his cheeky bangers and mash vocals, and also these references to Windows 95, which is kind of funny. Colors Fly is a moody theatrical track with deep bellowing brass. I like the Arabic tinged grooves, which again, definitely Johnny Greenwood's thing, and I like the cacophonous ending as well. Eyes and Mouth is another very fun, dry, angular track like freaking Zero Sum, and it sounds like the outro of Identikit but extended, with the flimsy guitars, the shuffly drums, Tom York's vocals sort of glide between them effortlessly. Then we have the track Don't Get Me Started, which I just do not like at all. This track is really dry and spacey. It starts off with nothing but some synth loops and Tom York's vocals, and then it sort of builds up and builds up and it builds up to nothing, and it just meanders around, and it doesn't have to be 6 minutes long. Tiptoe is another track that I don't really like that much, unfortunately. It's kind of weird because Johnny's classic orchestral arrangement on this track, with the very sparse strings and pianos, are beautiful. They're gorgeous, but they do not match with Tom York's vocals at all. Tom York's vocals feel really out of place, and his falsetto vocals are probably beautiful in some other context, like the Suspiria theme, not this one. The falsettos here do not fit with the song at all. It just feels almost grating, as much as I love Tom York. The Slip sees or hears Tom York go back to a lower register where I feel like Tom York has come to a point in his career where he sings so well that his vocals almost have a strange auto-tune quality to it. Like if you hear Paul McCartney sing now, you would hear the same effect. About 1/3 of the way into the track, we are introduced to some awesome punk, like pop punk riffs, and I wish the track would have explored that riff more. Second to last track, No Words, sounds like a deconstructed post-punk track where we have these low-key krautrockian riffs and a lot of reverb on the vocals, not too bad. And I actually really like the album ending, Bodies Laughing, which I feel like is a natural extension of the previous track. The nasty krautrockian riffs sort of dissolve into depressing, icy cold guitars, topped with off-kilter strings, light falsettos, and ominous lyrics about how the world is falling apart yet everyone's laughing. Truly a cinematic ending to the album. So yeah, overall, this is not bad. This album is not bad, but unfortunately I'd also have to say that this is the weakest album in their discography so far. I have a Zoom meeting to go to right freaking now, so I'm just gonna end the video off here. Thank you for watching. I am giving I almost forgot to give the score. I am giving their new album, Cutouts, a decent light 7 out of 10. So have you listened to this album? Comment below, let me know, subscribe if you want more, and I am joining the Zoom